Yo, what's going on? Chavo Guerrero Jr. here, giving a big shout out to Wrestling Rehab. Keep watching, keep listening, and viva la raza.
Órale.
Órale, Cholo Trucker. Shout outs to all the junkies, Wrestling Rehab. Man, you know what? Growing up as a kid, one thing that I was huge on were tag team. Tag team wrestling. I don't know if I should say it was my favorite, but damn it, it was right there, man. It was definitely right there. So, speaking about tag teams, let me bring in my tag team partner from the LA Times, one Mr. Pablo.
What's happening?
What's going on, big dog?
Oh, chilling, ready to get into this, brother, and do it.
Oh man, hey Paul, what? Like, were you a big fan of tag teams? Because I was.
You know, I wasn't so much, bro. I wasn't so much. Don't get me wrong. I loved them, but I was more into the personal, man.
Okay.
But then you get the NWO, you get DX. I was really into those two.
Okay, like factions then.
Factions, yeah, but within there they had tag teams, you know, like the Road Dogg, and you know what I mean. They had tag teams within those factions. So I guess I could say I was, but there is some tag teams that I'm very high on, you know.
Okay. What's up, Andres Benny, straight out of the Rockies, Holmes?
Straight out of Compton.
Man, I'll tell you, I used to love tag teams. I really, really did, man. It was one of my favorites, to be honest with you, man. It was one of my favorites, and tag teams kind of went away somewhere like in the late 90s.
Right.
And I don't think it came back till probably maybe 2010-ish.
Right.
Somewhere around there.
Right.
And yeah, and even today, it's not what it once used to be, man.
You're right, man, because you have the Dudleys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian. Man, those were some phenomenal days right there, man. Compared to now, it's kind of like, you know.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Let's get into a few tag teams. Paul, the first tag team that comes to your mind when somebody says tag team wrestling is whom?
Alpha and Sika.
The Wild Samoans?
Yeah, we're talking about the Wild Samoans, but see, I'm going way back.
Okay.
Because I'm going to my childhood. Now,
All
most
right.
of the people, but most of the conversations that are had about wrestling are from like Hulk Hogan on, you know,
Right.
from Alpha and Sika. When I was a kid, I used to go to the Olympic Auditorium. You know, dude, you believed everything. They were so mean, so ruthless. You know, I got to see them way back then, bro. And you were scared of them when they came out, bro. You thought they were going to attack you in the aisle and stuff. So they were good. And not only that, bro, they're so good that they, you know, one of them has, I think, Alpha, I'm not sure, or I think it's Alpha, not Roman's dad, has a wrestling school, I believe. So they were very trained, the Guerreros and all that, man. But modern day, if you had to ask me who was my favorite modern day tag team that I used to follow the most, it was definitely the Hart Foundation.
Oh, okay. What's up, Richard? Okay. That's like the 60s. LOL, says Essa Benny.
Hey. Not quite the 60s, but late 70s, early 80s.
Wasn't there a gym behind the Olympic Auditorium?
I don't remember,
I
bro.
think there was a gym behind it, man. I don't really recall too much, but the first when tag teams come to mind, or when somebody mentions the name tag or just tag teams, the first thing that probably comes to mind is probably the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
that's probably the first one that comes to mind. And I'm not talking about when they first started, because if people don't remember, when they first started, they were actually wearing blue.
Dude,
They were wearing, instead of pink and black, they were wearing blue and black, like a
dude,
baby blue and black, something like that, man.
I don't even remember that, bro. That's a trip.
Yeah, yeah, that's they were actually wearing blue, man.
Wow.
Blue and black.
Trip
It
out.
was a weird looking blue. It wasn't like hard blue or anything like that, but yeah, that's what they were wearing, man. And once when they went with the pink, it really made them stand out. Obviously, you're wearing pink, man. Dude's wearing pink, but it really made them stand out. And I think that's when they started getting recognized a heck of a lot more.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Demolition definitely comes to mind. Definitely Demolition comes to mind. Paul, what do you make of Demolition? Some people say that they're just kind of a knockoff.
Yeah, I could see that, dude. But they were great. I mean, they whenever they came to town, whenever they were there, which wasn't always, what they weren't always there. And just like what's the other one? Legion of Doom. Legion of Doom, is that what they're called?
Legion of Doom, yeah. The Road Warriors.
Yeah, the Road Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the Road Warriors. Just like them. If you remember, bro, they weren't always there. They'd pop in part of the year, come back. So maybe, yeah, it might be somewhat of a knockoff, but they were still great, bro. You can't take nothing away from them.
Okay.
In my
Okay.
opinion, I don't know. You know,
All right. That's a Benny saying Los Guerreros, since I'm from Juarez, El Paso area.
hey, I agree, bro. They have to be on that list, in my opinion. Chavo
Really?
and Eddie.
Okay. I'm not saying that they can't be on there. I'm just saying maybe the time that they were there, I'm not really sure what they really did that was so great in tag team, man. And it was kind of in an era where the tag team was a little bit weak, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they had the titles though, bro. They had the titles, and man, they were exciting and flavorful, man. It was a neat time. I'm not saying they're top 20 or nothing, but
Uh,
if you look at the top 50 list, which I did a while ago, they're usually around the 30s and 40s.
yeah.
So they're way up there. They should be there, but definitely not at the top.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, definitely they deserve a mention. They were kind of around in a time where the tag team division just wasn't what it once was, man. And that unfortunately, does hurt them. Um, okay. I know I had this conversation with you before, Paul. Look, I don't know much about Luke and Butch
Yeah,
before they stepped in to
right.
the WWF. But to
Yeah,
me, they were just kind of like funny, I don't know what, New Zealand kind of guys.
yeah.
They To me, they weren't that great of a tag team. They were cool. Don't get me wrong. They were cool. They had me doing the whole forearms up and down and stuff like that. But I don't think they were really that great of a tag team. They were just okay. What do you say about the Bushwhackers?
Oh yeah, definitely just a comedy team, bro. They weren't great like wrestling technicians, at least the time they were in the WWE. What they did outside WWE is phenomenal, right? It's
Okay.
huge. It's massive, bro. But that's neither here nor there because we all boil it down what happened in the WWE kind of, right? But they definitely I don't know if I would put them in the top 50 even. They're one of my favorites, bro. They used to make me laugh. I used to love them, but man, I can't put them as one of the greatest.
Okay, they're one of your favorites because just they made
Entertainment,
you
entertainment purposes. That's it.
okay.
But for
Okay.
wrestling, yeah, you don't watch the Bushwhackers to watch good wrestling, bro. You just watch them to have fun and laugh. Kind of like maybe George the Animal Steel in a different way. You watch them go out there and eat the turn posts and and all that stuff. He wasn't a great wrestler, but used to watch it for entertainment in another way.
Man, somebody need to run him over with a lawnmower, dog.
Oh,
That guy had hair all over his body, like thick
yes.
hair, man.
Yes. There was another guy too. I forget who it was about 10 years ago, dude, in wrestling. Big old dude too, man. Had that same thing, bro. It's nasty.
Well, I remember A-Train Albert. He used to have a lot of hair all over him.
A-Train, that might be the guy I'm thinking of. I
Yeah.
forget.
As a matter of fact, he was in a tag team with Test called TNA.
Wow.
I don't think they'll go down as a great tag team. That's how Trish Stratus got her break. She used to be their so-called manager. And I remember this is around the time where the Attitude Era was still kind of around, and people would have signs, right? Because their tag team name was TNA, Test and Albert, and people would have signs saying, "Hey Trish, show us your TNA."
Oh gosh. Oh, oh Lord.
But yeah, so he was part of a tag team. Yeah, man. I want to talk about this just because I saw it the other day, Paul. The Mega Powers.
Right.
2 Hall of Famers.
Right.
The Immortal Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Right.
They combined and they became the Mega Powers. Yet, to the best of my knowledge, they only had 3 matches.
Uh-huh.
But, back in those days, there wasn't wrestling all week long like there is today. So,
Right.
3 matches, 3 matches now could be in 10 days. But
right.
Back then, it was a little bit more spread out. So I think people thought that they were together for a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Mega Powers?
Oh, that's cool, man. I mean, it was cool, but yeah, man, when you look back, it's definitely a different era. And yeah, wrestling wasn't on all the time like it is now. Sometimes you would catch it maybe once a week or once a month or whatever it was, and then catch it on wrestling on Saturdays, the cartoons. So yeah, it was definitely a different time, man. And they were good. They were good. It was fun. I definitely loved them. And I didn't even know it was that short, man. So that's a trip.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought they were in more matches, but yeah, to the best of my knowledge, they only had 3 matches. A little bit spread out, but they only had 3 matches. And look, it'll go down in history for damn sure. Mega Powers, but
definitely.
Yeah, to me, Hulk Hogan in a tag team just doesn't work, man. I just don't think it works. I don't. He's too big, and when I say big, I don't mean physically big. He's just too, he's too big of a character, man.
Kind of like Roman.
Yeah, you don't put Roman Reigns in a tag team. You don't have John Cena in a tag team. You don't have Stone Cold Steve Austin in a tag team. Once Bret Hart became Bret Hart, you don't put him back as a tag team in a Hart Foundation again. They're too big now. So the Mega Powers, yeah, it was cool, man. But I don't know where I would rank them. But
they'd be way, in my opinion, they'd be way up there by even lower than the Guerreros. I mean, higher, like towards the 50 mark, something. Yeah.
Wow.
Because that, like you said, it was only a short time. But I mean, dude, their star power is great, but we still talk about them. So they made an impact.
Do we still talk about Mega Powers though? We talk about Hogan and Macho. Do we talk about Mega Powers?
Yeah, because I see it, dude. I see it on Pawn Stars. When I went to the Hulk Hogan shop in Florida, they still have stuff from the Mega Powers there. Yeah, I see it on TV quite often, bro. Quite often here and there, So I'm not maybe because I'm a junkie, I'm all into it, but maybe layman who doesn't follow wrestling like I do, maybe they don't see it as much, maybe I'm looking for it. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
But like I said, I would put them up in the 50s if they even made the top 50. Where would you put them? roundabout?
Oh man. See, like I want to put them higher, probably in the 20s, just because of who they are. But if we're
Right.
just talking what they did as a tag team, then yeah, man, I gotta lean over towards your side and say, like, well, if we're
Yeah.
really talking about tag team, I mean, really, you're gonna put them, with Hardy Boys and some of these great tag teams. Now, they are they are more, I believe, than the Hardy Boys, but I don't know as the Mega Power Tag Team. That's kind of where I'm kind of fumbling it back and forth, so I'm not even really
Right.
sure what to do with them, man. But
Right.
they're yeah. If somebody wants to rank them pretty low, that's fine. I don't really have a issue with it, man.
Right.
Um, Paul, what's your thoughts on the Rockers?
I didn't like the Rockers. I
No,
hated the Rocker. I hated the Rockers, man. Uh, Shawn Michaels, obviously. What's Marty Jannetty? I did not like Marty, bro. You know,
I
I
mean, right from the jump, you didn't like them, even though they were just the Rockers.
well, I think yeah, because I don't know. I thought that HBK outshined him. You know, just too
Mm,
much. Like outshined him too much, and especially when they started doing the breakup angle, I was already there. You know, I was already there. I was already not into him, Marty Jannetty. Even to this day, man, Marty Jannetty comes on an interview or whatever, I change the channel, bro. He's boring to me, bro. You know,
wow. Okay. I mean, Marginetti has turned in somewhat into a weird guy, but
exactly.
when they were the Rockers, I couldn't really tell you that one stood out more than the other. I mean, Shawn Michaels, I guess, maybe just because he had blonde hair, I guess, but there was nothing really that one was doing that made one stand out than the other. I was just kind
Right.
of like, eh, okay, the Rockers. To me, they suck. The
Yeah.
name, okay, the name is cool, and their little music. You got to think about the time, the era. It was the '90s. These guys kind of looked like characters from the movie The Lost Boys, some
Right.
vampires or something. It looked cool, but man, they were kind of like jobbers almost.
I agree. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Their finisher move, both on the turnbuckle and flying with the fist in the air, and they would land. That was all right. That was, I kind of somewhat liked it, but yeah, man, they used to lose a lot. So I was just like, man, these guys suck. And by the way, back then, it was the time of big dudes, and these guys just weren't big like that.
Yeah, like you said, there was big dudes, and then people were starting to turn a little bit more towards the bad guys, liking the bad guys a little. So they
Mm,
were just too goody two shoes, bro. Too goody two shoes for me. I didn't like them at all at the time.
okay, okay. All right, man. Let's get to Too Cool. You remember those guys?
Too cool. Sounds
Yeah.
familiar. No, I don't.
Yeah, man. Freaking Scotty Too Hottie and freaking oh shoot, I just had his name in my head. Jerry the King Lawler's son, who actually passed away.
Oh man.
Grandmaster Sexy.
Man, I don't even remember him, bro.
I'll
To
tell
be honest with you. Hey, don't
Okay,
get me wrong. Scotty was one of my favorite wrestlers, though.
okay, doing the worm.
Dude, everything, man.
Okay, okay, okay. He first started as as a tag team with Grandmaster Sexy and a tag team called Too Cool.
Yeah, I've heard of
And
Too Cool. I just right now I'm drawing a blank.
okay,
Shows you how much
they-
they made on me.
these guys were these guys were dumb, dog. They were just dumb. They were,
Gosh.
I mean, they were okay. Look, they would go out there and start dancing. Neither one of these dudes can dance. They couldn't really do anything. Later on, they had singles career, more Scotty Too Hottie than Grandmaster Sexy. I remember Grandmaster Sexy tried to turn like to a serious character. He tried to get away from like the Grandmaster Sexy, too cool kind of thing. And
Right.
he even confronted Jerry the King Lawler. But it never worked out. He never got over. Nobody really cared about him. Brian Christopher, was that his name?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, Grandmaster Sexy. Yeah, they were kind of cool, I guess, but yeah, there's no way I can see. This is what I'm talking about, Paul. Like when I talk about the mega powers, right? Should I rank the mega powers above the Rockers? Should I rank them above Too Cool?
Yeah.
Even though the mega
Hard.
powers just had 3 matches, Paul.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
hard, man. I'm not really sure what to do with the mega powers, man.
Right. I know they're such huge names, man. What are you gonna do?
Would you throw in tag teams, or where do you rank like the silly tag teams, like the Hell No with Daniel Bryan and Kane, or Rock and Sock with
Right.
Mankind and The Rock? Where, I mean, would you throw those guys in there? You know, tag teams like that.
Not really, bro. I mean, they're up there. I would put them like in the hundreds, way up there. They were so entertaining, though. They were so great. Rock and Sock, but you can't put them in the greatest realm of tag teams, Rock
Okay.
and Sock connection, man. They were awesome. I used to love watching that.
You used to love the Rock and Sock.
Oh yeah, that was fun, dude. Remember when Mick Foley would have something like the Rock's birthday celebration and bringing people from his past?
Yeah, that was gold, man.
Right?
That was so gold. I don't know if you heard the story to that, but I guess Vince McMahon was pissed because they took up so much damn time, but the ratings went through the roof for that, man. So
Right?
So he just kind of like forgave them, I guess.
Dude, that's classic TV. That's one of the all-time great moments right there, dude, of comedy, dude. That's what's wrong with Vince.
Yeah, no, it was good. But I'm with you, man. I don't think I could throw in, Rock and Sock Connection. I don't think I could throw in Team Hell No, which was Kane and Daniel Bryan,
Right.
In there. But Paul, let's get into some devastating tag teams. I'm talking about dudes that went in there, whooped your ass, dominated, were scary mofos, and would win. Like they were known. They were killers, man. First one that comes to my mind is the Accolades, the APA.
Oh yeah.
Man. Freaking JBL and damn it, I know he doesn't like to be called Farouk. Come on, man. What's his name? Somebody help me out, junkies.
Yeah, we're calling out to the nation out there.
Yeah,
what's his name?
You know who I'm talking about? Damn. Hall of Famer, man. Shoot. Somebody help me out. Well, Ron Simmons.
There you go.
Yeah. That's the first one that comes to my mind, man. Who do you think is the most dominating? And when I say dominating, I don't mean they always win. I just mean they're just big and tough and everybody fears them. Like, who comes to mind?
Well, the Brothers of Destruction, the first one that comes to my mind, right?
Okay, yeah. Taker and Kane, yeah.
It doesn't get much bigger than that. Also, the Legion of Doom. Legion
Road
of Doom.
Warriors, yeah, Legion of Doom. Oh yeah, man, coming out with the spike. That was crazy. Paul, I'm wondering if they could do that today. Coming out with shoulder pads that have spikes on it. Back then was a different time, but today we live in the land of lawyers. I wonder if one of those spikes would have scratched. And by the way, man, today there's a lot more room to walk down the ramp. Back then, man, you could just reach your hand out and the fans are all over you, man. They're
right.
they got their hands all over you. I'm wondering if they would have had a lawsuit that they couldn't wear those anymore, man, because some kid's hand got spiked with your shoulder pads or something.
Right, right. I know. What about yeah, definitely there's a lot more room, like Drew McIntyre and his sword. You know,
Oh
think
yeah.
about
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sure it's
Yeah.
not that sharp, but still.
Right, right, right. The Road Warriors is a good one. I also think of Powers of Pain. If you remember the Warlord
Oh yeah.
and the Barbarian with Mr. Fuji as their manager.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Or yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. When they broke up and had solo careers, that was the end of them.
Yeah, it's like that with some people.
Mhm.
Another one I would think of would be, in my opinion, we're going outside WWE here, but the outsiders
Okay.
were they were pretty dominant, you know.
Okay, Kevin
They were
Nash
cheap.
and
Scott Hall,
Razor. Yeah.
Razor Ramon,
Okay. Okay.
they're pretty devastating, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think more Big Daddy Cool was I don't know if people kind of looked at them like, wow, like, hey, everyone be scared of them because they're just some mean mofos. Maybe they're I think they're kind of flirting that line, but
Yeah.
I think somebody brought it up earlier. Natural disasters when earthquake and typhoon, formerly known as tugboat.
Yeah, that was crazy days right there.
Oh, Paul, when they got together, man, it was like, holy smokes, dog.
Yeah.
These guys are gonna be unstoppable, man.
Oh man, yep.
If if you had to rank it, or if you had to pick just one of these tag teams on which one is like just the meanest, toughest dudes, which one would it be? Out of the ones that we just named, or if you could come up with another one.
Yeah, I would have to go with the Undertaker and Kane. I would
Okay.
have to go with them. Just overall destruction, the streak. I mean, just their continued, dude. Those guys had longevity. They destroyed, dude, in every generation. You know.
Hmm.
So man, they were just, dude. Whether they're lighting people on fire, throwing them in a casket, uh, dropping them on their head with a pile driver. I mean, to me, they were just the most destructive for sure. You know, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I that's not a wrong answer. It's not a wrong. Oh, that's a Benny's bringing up the Nasty Boys.
Oh gosh,
Okay.
foul.
All right.
The
Let's talk.
the armpit of death.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's talk about the Nasty Boys just for a second, man. They were kind of mean and rough and tough like that. Uh, I don't know if I'd put them in the same category. They did do some wicked stuff like the armpit. Um, the match that they had with the Road Warriors at SummerSlam. I forgot what SummerSlam it was. I'm thinking heck, 90 shoot, I don't even really want to guess, but they had a good one with them. That was a great match. Uh I like Nasty Boys. Um but I don't think I'd put them up there as like being one of the like the roughest, toughest ones, man. Even though
Nah,
they were pretty nasty. They were definitely pretty nasty. Thus the Nasty Boys. Um I think I'm gonna have to go with APA.
APA is pretty awesome, man.
Hey
They were
man,
pretty awesome.
they're just their whole character. Drinking beer, being at the bar, getting into bar fights.
Big
Like
old
this,
boys too, bro. They were huge. I mean,
yes,
they might not be huge compared to Andre, but they were huge.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, man, definitely. Hey man, what's your thoughts on the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, and Powers of Pain? People were saying like, hey, you know what? The Road Warriors were around first, and Vince just kind of came up with the Powers of Pain, put the face paint on them to kind of offset from what the
Right.
World Warriors were doing.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. To me back then, even sometimes I would get them mixed up. Like who's who, what's what, what's going on here, bro? But they have their place. But dare I say this? In my opinion, this is just my opinion. This is probably not factual with everybody. Both of those groups, they came out. They looked tough. Kids would get excited. Kids would dress up like them. People would have their face paint. To me, they were a little overrated, man. A little bit overrated, but they were tough and rough. Don't get me wrong, but they were a little bit overrated. And I think in history, sometimes we remember them bigger than they were and greater than they were. And I think that, just in my opinion, man, they were great. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I don't put them as the greatest at all.
Do you think it's the face paint that everybody remembers?
Yes, stuff like that. The show, the entrance. Oh, what a rush! You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just all that, man. But it's a good show, and if you're there live, I'm sure it's phenomenal. But yeah, that's just my opinion, though.
Would you put Demolition in that category as well that you're explaining?
Yes, definitely,
Huh.
definitely. But if you remember, Cholo, most of those groups right there we're talking about, Demolition, they they would come and they would go. They weren't there all the time, man. The Usos, they're there all the time. The Hardys were there all the time. Sometimes I don't know where they would go. They would disappear for 6 months. They would come back. They weren't always there, whether it was injuries or what. So when
Yeah.
they would come back, man, people would love them. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. Like I said earlier, wrestling was a little bit more spread out as well.
Yes.
I don't want to say that's the reason why, but um yeah, man. Some of these newer tag teams, yeah, they're there all the time. Like the APA, they were always around, man.
Exactly.
They were always there,
Exactly.
playing cards, smoking cigars, doing I mean, they're great, man. I really loved the acolytes, man. They're doing a lot of really good stuff. Where these other
Yeah.
guys, like, yeah, it was kind of like a novelty. Like, you got these guys with face paint. They dress a certain way. They go out there, and I mean, do they really put on some really good matches?
Not really. Throw
Yeah,
people. They hit people a lot with that when they throw them against the rope and they come back and they get them with the arm. I forgot what it's called, bro, but slingshot or whatever. They did a lot of them, a lot of throwing people over, but you know,
I would say out of those three, because people like to compare those three: Demolition, Powers of Pain, and Legion of Doom. Out of those three tag teams, I think Legion of Doom, Road Warriors, was probably the best.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
And
think so.
believe it or not, and I know people are probably not going to agree with me on this, I actually like Demolition once Axe started, because once he became somewhat of just a manager and they brought in Crush,
Uh-huh.
and it was Crush and Smash. Axe had become, I guess he was still somewhat active, but he was a little too old and he had a few injuries. So he kind of took a step back. They had brought in Smash. And that is how the Hart Foundation won the tag team titles off Demolition. Demolition was also feuding with Legion of Doom, Road Warriors, and Demolition was cheating by, there was three of them because Crush already had came in, so they were cheating. This was SummerSlam 1990, I think it was, and Road Warrior Hawk and Animal came out and intervened when the ref, I think, was down, because they would take play. They would switch places. The Demolition would. One would go under the ring, then they would switch out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Road Warriors costed Demolition their tag team titles to the Hart Foundation. It was just a great moment, man. Great moment. Loved it.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah. Hey, what's your thoughts on the Dudley Boys? Spiders bringing up Dudley Boys.
Woo! Okay, this is where it all comes. This might be our next argument, bro.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dudley Boys. My gosh, it don't get much better than them. It don't get much better. Okay, we're talking tag teams, right?
Yes, we
Now
are.
I'm about to stir stuff up. Okay, follow me, people out there in podcast land. Okay, Roman Reigns. Who do you have in front of Roman Reigns? As far as holding the title longer, Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund, Bruno Sammartino, right?
Okay.
Just because those guys have held the belt longer doesn't mean they're better than Roman. Roman's better than them in a lot of ways. I think, at least entertainment wise. So with that being said, I think the body of work that the Dudley Boys have done in their whole career has been a greater impact on wrestling than the Usos. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I think they're like, man, they're a staple. They're a staple in the industry. Did I love them during the time? I loved Bubba. Bubba was cool. Bubba, I love Bubba, man, even as a single competitor. But man, yeah, that's just my thoughts on them, man. I think their work as a whole is greater than the Usos.
Oh, okay. Let's get into that era right there, because there was a strong era with tag teams.
Yep.
3 in particular tag teams, to be exact. We're talking about the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys, man.
Oh, yeah.
To tell you the truth, I don't know if there was even any other tag teams around in that era, because those 3 just stuck out.
Right.
Now, again, my opinion, okay? Everything that you said about the Dudley Boys, I agree with, Paul, but I'm telling everybody right now, I didn't like the Dudley Boys.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I get it.
They didn't do it for me, man. And when Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys had that classic ladder match, or was it a TLC match? But they had it at a No Mercy. That's what put them on the map.
Ladders, I believe, wasn't it?
Okay, maybe it was just ladder. Yeah, it put them on the map. It was just those 2 tag teams. Now, after that, they inserted the Dudley Boys, and to me, it lost value.
Mm.
I wanted to see the Hardys one-on-one again against Edge and Christian. Dudley Boys, I get it. Everybody loves them. I get the whole Devon, get the tables. Look, they did so much, and they mean so much to the tag team division. It's just, it didn't do it for me. I do not want to discredit them. It just didn't do it for me, Paul. To me personally, in my personal rankings, I put them low. Now, if they were to say, hey, ranked tag teams out of their greatness, they would be high.
Yeah.
But I did not like the Dudley Boys, man.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I could see that, because I feel the exact same way about the Hardys. The Hardy Boys. I feel the exact same way.
Really? You didn't like the Hardys?
Yeah. No, I mean, they were okay. But just at the time, if you had my choice, I'd probably go with Edge and Christian, Edge and Christian, Christian Smugness, It's just at the time, those were the 3 people you would love, man, right there, man. And and when I say, I totally get what you're saying about the Dudleys, because when I say they're like, their work as a whole is better than the Usos, I'm trying to take myself out of it, because I wasn't a great Dudley Boy fan, but I could see that the impact they made on the industry. That's all. So I totally get what you're saying,
Yeah. Um, I to me, in all three of those tag teams, someone stuck out more than their partner.
Mm,
Um,
true.
just like how you said earlier about the Rockers, to me, Shawn Michaels didn't stick out more than Marty Jannetty when they were the Rockers. To
Mhm.
me, to me, they didn't. But
Uh-huh.
when it comes to the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray definitely stuck out more than Devon. Jeff Hardy stuck out more than Matt.
Right.
I think just because he was more of the risk taker, more the
Right.
daredevil. Um, and Edge stuck out a little bit more than Christian.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I'm not sure. I wasn't sure at the time if they could have a singles career. And Edge definitely went and did it. Um, Jeff, well, he's got problems. I don't know if Bubba was really successful in his single run. I think he might have needed to be with the Dudley Boys.
Yeah. When he went over, I forgot what it was that where everybody went TNA. Was that what it was? When everybody
Yeah,
went to TNA,
yeah.
he was cool over there, and then right now he's kind of a single competitor over in AEW. He does pretty good, man. He's a good, but they never really gave him a chance in WWE. But I think one thing that elevated the Dudleys too, that made him super loved. I'll say two words: Stacy Keebler. You remember
Um,
Stacy
yeah.
Keebler? Man, she was over, bro, and she was like their manager. So they got all the love. They got all the love from that. Not a wrestling skill, just
Do
her
you
being
think
with them.
so, Paul? You think she
Yeah,
made them?
in a lot of ways, bro. It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. Hey, dude, it didn't
Hey,
hurt.
dog. Hey, Holmes, I gotta disagree, man. I don't think she did. I think they helped her more
Think
than she
so?
helped. Yeah,
I
man.
think it was both. I think I could say they were both beneficial, bro. They're both beneficial because everybody wanted to see Stacy at the time come out, and yeah, I think they helped each other, bro.
No, Paul. No, Stacy. No, man. She needed them. She needed them. Look, Spider's bringing up Harlem Heat. Now, Harlem Heat. See what sensational, scary Sherry did for Harlem Heat. She put them over. I think she actually helped them out. I think they would have been a good tag team, but I think she really knows how to, put people over. I don't think Stacy Keebler really put the Dudleys over, man.
No, I can't say that either. I can't say she put him over, but it didn't hurt. Didn't hurt, bro. It's having a good manager. Just like when Roman Reigns comes out, right? He's self-made, right?
Yeah.
But when he comes out with Paul Heyman, oh man, the show's just that much better, you know. So
Uh, yeah, Paul. I'm nah, dog. I'm just gonna disagree.
you're living in an alternative universe, bro.
No,
Yeah,
Paul.
you are,
Stacey,
bro.
wait. You just said, dog, that Stacy Keebler was a good manager.
No, I say she was a good manager. I didn't say she was a good man. I just said her presence. Her
All right, Richard
presence.
saying eye candy. Oh, I mean, sure. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. That's what she was. That's all she was. Yeah, I'm not saying she was a great wrestler, a great manager, but I'm just saying all the people wanted to see Stacy come out. When she came out with the Dudleys. It just made them more lovable to the fans. That's all I'm saying. She didn't do nothing great except be there,
Paul,
standing in her corner.
Paul, I completely forgot that Stacy Keebler spent some of her career with the Dudleys until you brought it up.
Oh,
I completely forgot. See, but when Spider brought up Harlem Heat, I remember Sensational Sherry because
yeah.
she put in some work, man. I completely forgot about Stacy Keebler being with the Dudleys, but she was, man. So
What's her name? Harlem Heat, man. I bet you 9 out of 10 wrestling fans can't name Booker T's partner.
his brother. Yeah, I think you're right, man.
That's why I can't give them serious. If you can't remember who the tag team was, it's tag team guy was. It's not they can't be too high on the list. But Booker T's a Hall of Famer, man. So
Well,
he
I mean, so is Stevie Ray because Harlem Heat's Hall of Fame. But do you think that has to do because what Booker T became after Harlem Heat?
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so like let's say if they were both retired somewhere around the same time, people would have remembered Stevie Ray's name.
Probably.
Okay, all
Is
right.
he alive? Is he alive still, by the way?
Oh shoot, I'm not sure, man. I know. Look, Booker T is a two-time Hall of Famer because the single and the Harlem Heat days,
Yeah.
and Stevie Ray was there, but I think he's still alive.
Hey, man, don't get me started in the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna get me mad.
Oh no. Let's
I'm
let's
just
not.
saying, can we start thinking about Booker T's wife being in the Hall of Fame and Stevie Ray being in the Hall of Fame? It's like then Coco Beware being in the Hall of Fame. Like, come on.
All right, Spider says yes. Spider says yes, he is.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, Shadow? Best tag
Disco.
team is Alex Wright and Disco Inferno. Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh Lord.
Oh, Disco Inferno was just. Oh
Yeah.
man, but
Do
hey,
you ever hear his podcast, Disco Inferno? You ever hear it? I haven't heard it in a while with Conan.
yeah, I think yeah, he has it with Conan.
Yeah.
I don't listen to it all the time, but yeah, I've checked it out here and there.
Yeah. Conan is a good talker.
Yeah. Shadow, he's in the Hall of Fame through Harlem Heat. He's not in the Hall of Fame for his singles career or anything like that. He's in the
I think that was one of those political moves. You know, they need to put some. It's like Coco Beware or Booker T's wife.
so let me ask you, Paul. Harlem Heat should not be in the Hall of Fame?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, they're not the level. But if you got Coco Beware in there, and you got Liberace in there, come on. Anybody, you could be in there. I could be in there, bro.
Yeah. No. I definitely agree with what you're saying. I just want to know if Harlem Heat, the tag team, is a Hall of Fame tag team to you.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. And I would go on to venture to say that most of the people would probably agree. But if you just said Harlem Heat to them, but if you said Booker T and Harlem Heat, they're gonna say yeah, because Booker T was in it.
Okay, what about like the tag teams that kind of go forgotten, like the Smoking Guns, the Head Shrinkers, the Headbangers, those guys?
The Headbang, man, that sounds so familiar, dude.
The Headbangers, the bald-headed dudes that used to come out like in big old like kilts and would just kind of like dance around. I don't know, Holmes, like if they're dancing to Anthrax or something, jump around.
Oh, nah, man.
Or the Head Shrinkers, or Smoking Guns.
Yeah, you would have to tell me their names, bro.
Well, Billy Gunn was in the Smoking Guns with what was his name? Was it Chuck? Who ended up having a boxing match with Butterbean at a WWE event and got his head knocked off.
Oh yeah, man, that's crazy.
All right, Richard is old school. He's asking you, Paul, do you remember the Moondogs?
Of course. Moondog Maine. Moondog Maine used to come trip out on this, bro. Let me tell you something. Okay, Chavo Guerrero Sr., right?
Yeah.
You interviewed his son the other day. I went up. Moondog Maine was killed, right? In real life, he died in a car accident or something like that, right?
Mm.
And back then I thought I was a kid. I thought wrestling was real. I went up to Chavo Sr. because we used to wait for them to get autographs. I went up to Chavo Sr. and I go, "Thank God Moondog Maine is dead." Yeah. I went up to Chavo Sr., dude, and he rebuked me, bro. He rebuked me. He's on, no, man. He said something like, we don't wish that on no one, man. But he understood, he understood that I thought it was, I thought I didn't understand wrestling yet, Yeah.
Oh, Paul, that's cold.
I know, bro. I know. Yeah, dude. He rebuked me though. He rebuked me, man.
Oh, dang it, dog. Spider, the
Yeah.
power trip, Austin and Triple H. Yeah, I remember that. And then Brothers of Destruction came and grounded them. I remember Austin and Triple H. I don't know if they really considered themselves a tag team, but they really they combined forces and they were just tearing everybody apart. And Brothers of Destruction came out. Bart Gunn, gracias, Spider. Bart Gunn and Badass Billy Gunn would they came out as the Smoking Guns, and then later on, Billy goes off and has a singles career when Bart actually has a boxing match. Man, what if anybody remembers what event was that? That was a pay-per-view event, WWE event, man.
That was a tournament, wasn't it? Wasn't it a tournament?
No, I think you're thinking about the one that JBL was in, but
Maybe.
he just has a one-on-one match, boxing match with Butterbean, and Butterbean knocked him out cold. Paul, like
Right.
this dude was out, man. It was crazy, Holmes.
I think they had another tournament, bro, but I don't think the tournament was really a setup either. I think it was real boxing.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I remember JBL was a part of it, and he says that he doesn't even remember like who won because of the shots that they were taking. There were some big dudes, man. There were
Yep.
some big guys throwing hands. Yeah, natural disaster was definitely a bad one, man. Typhoon and earthquake. Survivor Series 1996, if I remember right. Okay, Spider saying Survivor Series 96. I gotta go back and look it up. But Smoking Guns broke up. And we all know what happened to Billy Gunn. He goes off and has a successful career with, getting in with DX and everything. Bart, for one reason or another, I got no idea, decides to have this boxing match with Butterbean and gets his head knocked off, Paul. Like, I mean,
Right.
we're talking about Mike Tyson, late 80s kind of just knockout, man, like crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, what about a couple of other forgotten ones? Like I brought up Smoking Guns, Head Shrinkers, Oriental Express. Remember them?
Who was that, man? Who was
I
that?
don't even know the name of the guys. I just remember Mr. Fuji used to manage them.
Man, if it's who I'm thinking, give me a second. I'm looking this up because
It was I don't.
oh yeah, no. It wasn't who I thought. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I see. I'm looking at a picture of him right now. Yeah, Mr. Fuji was a legend, though.
I mean, he's a legend because he's memorable, but I just, I don't want to get off track, man. We'll talk about managers another day, but
Hey, back then, but I'll say this, dude. Back then, the managers would be more involved in the fight than they are. He'd be hitting people. He'd be throwing stuff in their eyes, as a manager, and he'd be doing all kinds of cheating from the outside. Wrestling was a little different.
he would, But see, Paul, I don't want to get into it, man.
I know.
Because then we're gonna start talking magic. Okay, Spider saying it was WrestleMania 15. All right, cool. You guys check out WrestleMania 15 and see Bart Gunn get completely. I thought he died, man. I thought he died. Butterbean just like landed a good crisp one and just I thought
Can you
ended his
imagine?
life.
Butterbean with all his power and all his weight behind it, bam.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, I mean, it was just crazy. Hey, so let's talk about the Usos today, Paul. Some people are saying that they could be the greatest tag team of all time. Look, you don't get much argument from me if somebody wants to say that. When you talk about, Shadow's bringing up Too Cool, Grandmaster Sexay, and freaking shoot. I was just saying that the guy that does the worm.
Scotty Too Hottie.
Scotty Too Hottie, man. But Paul, the Usos, where do you rank? Where would you put the Usos when you think about all their accomplishments, the longevity? I mean, I don't even remember when they first started, but it's been quite a few years, man. Where do you put them at?
Man, it's hard, bro, because they have so many pluses, but then I'll give them this one negative, bro. They are not the best on the mic. You know, they dance around and yay, yay, you know what I mean? But they're not
No.
the best on the mic. So that's a minus. So, but they have the longest reign, right? Kinda in the modern
Yeah.
history.
Right.
So it's man, they're up there, bro. Who could I really put above them in my mind? And this is only opinion. In my mind, there's a couple I'd put above them, like the Hart Foundation. I'd put the Dudleys above them, but I think the Usos might pass them. They might be one of the greatest of all time. I mean, what could you say? You can't really argue with it. You know what I mean? It's hard to argue, bro. What could you really say? What could you really say against it? You can't really say nothing because they're part of a faction that's one of the greatest factions of all time right now, dude. It's drawing in crowds like never before. So I mean, how could you really argue against if somebody says the Usos? I would like to, but I can't.
Okay, so should you get credit as a tag team for being part of a faction like the New Age Outlaws, Badass Billy Gunn and Road Dogg Jesse James?
I think some of their fame comes from being in that faction, you know. And like you said the Usos wouldn't be nothing without Roman, right? They wouldn't be nothing without Roman. So
I think okay. I don't think they'd be as popular today if they weren't part of the bloodline. That's for sure. But when you look at the landscape of tag teams today, it's kind of hard, man, to just
exactly.
tag teams are not really captivating the way they used to.
I know, bro. You said it, and that's another reason why it's so hard to like just nail it down. But during this whole time, the Usos have kept it, man. They've kept it legit. What could you really say against them, man? They're the obvious ones. They could be the greatest. I don't know. They could be the greatest.
Okay, let me talk about the Usos. First of all, Shadow, please, dog, don't make me block you, Holmes. I like you, dog. I like you, Shadow. I like you, Holmes. But don't come on here with this ridiculousness, hating on our tribal chief and your tribal chief, Shadow.
So what you're saying is whether he accepts Roman or not, he's still his tribal chief.
Yes, yeah. It's everyone's tribal chief, man.
Right
everyone's tribal chief. Okay, look, when they first came around, if people remember, they were not, the Uso Penitentiary. They came out, with their face painted, tribalistic style. And yeah, they were doing a little bit here and there. They were cool. They were all right. They were faces, and then they changed it up, and the Uso Penitentiary, and now it's the Bloodline. I think the only reason why you would have to consider them as one of the best, or one of the greatest, I should say, is maybe not so much of their work ability in the ring. I mean, they're not bad wrestlers.
Right.
But I think the only reason is because how long they've been going.
Right.
I don't know how long any of these other tag teams really ran, to tell you the truth, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the Usos have been around since, I don't know, 2009?
Right.
2010? I'm not even really sure, man. But can you think of another tag team that's had, I'm guessing here, but something like about 15-year run, which is somewhere more or less where the Usos are at? I can't think of a tag team that had that long of a run.
Yeah, probably the Dudleys are up there. They're probably about right
Okay.
there. Probably above, but other than that, dude, who could really think of the Bushwhackers? Yeah, not many, bro. You're right.
I mean, look, you could name the New Day, right? The New Day is, to me, I didn't really like the New Day. I don't really like the New Day. But look, man, one of those guys went down, and the New Day just kind of fell apart.
Yep.
I mean, Big E got injured, and that was kind of the end of them. Were they great? Should they be mentioned? Absolutely. However, it just showed, man, that they needed, every single one of them needed to be involved with each other, because one guy went down, and they just kind of faded away, man. I mean, Kofi was champion with Kofi Mania, and that was cool. But I'm not sure. I would rank New Day somewhere up there. I would.
You know, that's what I was going to say. Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. Most people would. Most people would. I don't know. I don't like the New Day, but most people would probably rank them somewhere in the top 10.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they're wrong to do that because they did capture a lot of the WWE universe. They
Oh
did
yeah.
capture a lot of the fans. It's just I don't know, man. It just didn't work for me. Hey,
Me neither.
Shadow, charge double for that, big dog. Charge double. Make it a tables match, Holmes. That would be badass.
I want
Uh,
to. I got to give it up. I got to give it up to a tag team we haven't talked about though.
what's
To
that?
me, is one of the greatest tag teams, most entertaining, probably one of the most hated tag teams of all time. I can't think of many more that are hated more than these guys. It was the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. The Iron Sheik,
Oh, yeah.
they went on a good run for about 3 years, you know,
Mhm.
and would come back together here and there. You know, they would fight against Hulk, fight against Sergeant Slaughter, you know, all over the place, man. They were pretty fun to watch.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely there, man. I mean, as hated and all, yeah, definitely, especially in those days where um everybody took it much more serious, man. That was
Yeah, they
that
would
that's
come out. They would come out and tell the crowd, "You're on number one, USA, hot put." Spit at USA, you know, and then they would sing the Russian national anthem, and
yeah.
it was like, oh my gosh.
And then Nikolai Volkov turned babyface, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love that guy. He was one of my favorites.
Yeah, yeah, what Shadow's saying here is 100% true. Like if we think about the Usos, did they have the impact that the Hardys did in their time, that the Dudleys did in their time, that Edge and Christian did in their time? And to be honest, man, the answer is no.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. That's why I'm saying it's the
Is it their
Usos.
fault though? Is it their fault that they came up in this generation though? You know, that's what I
Ah,
would say. It's a
well,
generation where the spotlight is not on the tag teams, man. You know,
yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. I like that the fabulous ones. You remember them, Paul?
no,
No.
that wasn't with Stone Cold, was it?
No, man. Oh, wait. Oh, now you're getting my mind mixed up. No, 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 no. The fabulous ones were those. Oh man, I can't remember their name. They would come out. One dude had a mustache. The other guy was blonde. Heck, I can't remember.
Stan Lane, and Steve Kern. That was
No,
their
no,
real names.
no, no. I can't remember them, man. I can't remember their names. Midnight Express and Rock and Roll Express. I mean, they're you know they're memorable. I remember them, but cool. One of those tag teams that are kind of forgotten unless people bring them up. But yeah, yeah, man. So yeah, when it comes to the Usos, again, the only thing they really got going for them is just the longevity. Paul, what's your favorite finishing maneuver from a tag team? Oh, there it is. Yeah, Steve Curran and shoot, let me put it up.
That's what I just said, fool.
Dang. Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, I was off, man. I was off. Hey, first you brought up Stone Cold, Holmes, which he did start as a tag team. He did start as a tag team with his blonde
Yeah.
hair. What finishing maneuver stands out to you?
All right. Well, the ones that come to mind right now are obviously the Usos, but I don't want to say that. Oh man, the only you're gonna get mad at me, but the only one that stands out right now is Alpha Academy when Otis does the worm and smashes him, bro. That's about it, brother. Sorry, I got nothing. I got nothing right now.
Oh man. See, okay. This is what I think is hurting the tag team division. We need tag teams to have a finishing maneuver together. You know, the Usos have a finishing maneuver together. It's not a good one. I don't like the way the Usos do their splashes. They do a horrible splash.
Right.
Nobody has ever called out the Usos on the way they do their splash. It is a terrible splash. They jump up to the air. Their knees are way below them. It's almost like they're kneeling on the air. They land pretty much on their feet, and then they kind of collapse on the person. That is not how you do a splash. That is horrible, man. Check out the way Dom Mysterio does a splash. Check out the way Eddie Guerrero does a splash. Check out the way a lot of these others do.
Logan
splashes.
Paul. Logan
Paul even. Logan Paul does a much, much better splash. RVD. The Usos do not do a good splash. Next time you see a match with the Usos and they do their finishing, I'm telling everybody, junkies, look at their splash. It is horrible. They practically land on their feet and collapse downwards. Like, that is not a good splash, man. One that always sticks out to me is the Heart Attack from the Heart Foundation. That's I like it, although it's not that devastating of a move. One that was pretty damn killer to me, Paul, is Demolition. Axe would grab the opponent, put him over his knee, put his back over his knee, so the opponent is facing upwards.
Mm-hmm.
Smash would jump off the middle turnbuckle and land with his elbow on the opponent, flipping the opponent over Axe's knee. It was like, if you get this sucker wrong, you're gonna break this dude's neck, man, or you're gonna paralyze this guy. Now, aesthetically, watching it, is it really that devastating of a move? It's all right. It's not really made of a move to be like, oh, wow, what a badass, crazy move. But it is pretty killer. Now, somebody was bringing up, I think somebody brought up Road Warriors. Yeah, either Road Warriors or the Dudley Boys. Okay, definitely got to go Road Warriors. Animal would grab the opponent, pick him up on his shoulders, have him in the electric chair. Hawk goes up to the top turnbuckle. As Animal walks to the turnbuckle, or just stands in front of the top, in front of Hawk, who's standing on top of the turnbuckle. Hawk lunges forward with a clothesline. As he's landing the clothesline, remember, the opponent is in the electric chair position on top of Animal's shoulders. As Hawk is landing the clothesline, Animal grabs the opponent's legs and pushes it off of him. This dude just goes like flipping backwards. It is a crazy pulverizing move, man. I loved it. I think that's probably it right there, man.
Nice.
Some of these other tag teams, while they were great, the Spencer, man, you gotta have finishing moves together. What's Edge and Christian's finisher move? I don't know. The Hardy Boys. I don't know, man. Okay, but it should be a double spear. The Hardy Boys, what's their finisher move? Don't know. You got the Swanton Bomb, but if you're going to if we want to bring back tag teams back to where tag teams were, you just cannot have guys have their own thing. You got to have them have the same music, come out to the same music, have the same entrance, have the same color. Matching ring gear is going to help. Don't call them by their individual name. Have the name together. You know,
You hear that, WWE? He's talking about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
exactly, exactly, Paul. Exactly. That's one. I wasn't even thinking about them, but since you brought it up, exactly. You got the tag team champions right now. They're just two dudes, homie. They're just two dudes that they just put together. Oh, they both happen to be from Canada. Okay, fine. But you gotta put the chemistry. Have them come out to the same song that represents both of them. Have them have matching clothing. Have them be a tag team. Have them have a finisher move together. Don't have Sammy doing the Halua kick. Don't have Kevin Owens doing the frog splash or the stunner.
Yeah.
Like, make that one of their moves, fine. But have them have a finisher move that they do together. Have them be a tag team. That's what made tag team so great, Paul.
Like the Alpha Academy. They're doing everything you said.
Yeah, Alpha Academy is doing good. They're doing good.
By the way, just speaking of tag teams, I think Sammy and them might be losing the title because I heard Kevin Owens is hurt in real life. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan leg drop, followed by Macho Man's elbow. Seeing, and you're right, Spider. The Hardy Boys did do that. It was a twist of fate by Matt Hardy, and then followed by Swanton Bomb. That's somewhat is okay, I guess, but it's got to be a move together, like the Rockers. Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, they both flew off the top rope with their fist. You know, it's just a move together, man. That's kind of what I would want. It's like you can't do it without your partner. So that's kind of what I would want, man. Another tag team, I guess I just want to throw out there was also Money Incorporated. But that's exactly what I was talking about. You just grabbed the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and IRS, put them together, called them a tag team. It kind of worked for a little bit, but I got sick of those guys pretty damn fast.
Man, see, I don't want to get sidetracked, man, but a lot to say on $1 Million Man, but that's another time.
All right. They are losing steam, Sammy and Owens. They have lost a lot of steam. A lot. So I definitely look, man. Just to wrap it up here, I love tag team wrestling, or I should say I loved, because I have not loved tag team wrestling since that era, man, since the Hardys and Edge and Christian and Dudley Boys, man. That was like the last of the great era of tag teams. Before then, you got to go back to, man, Legion of Doom, Powers of Pain, Bushwhackers, Heart Foundation. You know, you got to go back to those guys, man, to find some great tag teams. So, but with that, Paul, your favorite tag team of all time is?
Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans. But I want to give a little props before we get out of here, man.
Yeah.
There's some legends out there that some of the people out there won't know. The Twin Devils. The Twin Devils were great, man. They were a old group, Mexicanos. There's also Gorman and Goliath. There's these old guys. These are the Chicano roots that used to fight over there in downtown LA. So those two groups, man. But my favorite, I think, was Alpha and Sika, followed by, followed, I would say, by the New Age Outlaws, I think. But those are just personal favorites. Favorites. And the Bushwhackers. The Bushwhackers were always fun, you know. Yeah, brother. But, man, hey, before I hand it over to Cholo, man, say some stuff. I mean, sorry. I'm over here looking at two things at once. You guys, what's some other topics we should hit in the future? What do you guys think would be good topics? Let Cholo know, man. Pass it to you, Cholo. Oh, by the way, you see my picture right there? That's Ralphus, man. Remember Ralphus? Ralphus. My picture on my screen on my avatar.
No, I see that it says Jericho. Well, no, who is he?
You don't remember him? Bro, you didn't even watch WCW, huh?
I watched a little bit here and there.
Oh, no wonder you're a hater, bro. Anybody from WCW you hate. He was Jericho's bodyguard right there. Ralphus. He was one of the truck drivers, and Jericho recruited him to be part of his security team. So.
Okay. Hey, Paul, I might have something for you. Okay.
Oh, that'd be a blessing, Richard. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Richard's the man, dog. He used to work for WWE. He is the man. No, man, listen, we definitely got to talk on managers. We definitely got to talk on IC champions. That's definitely one that's near and dear in my heart, man. I grew up loving tag teams. Unfortunately, the tag team division is not what it used to be. I think they're trying to make a little bit of a comeback. I do see a couple of tag teams like Alpha Academy. That's actually pretty cool, man. Got to get the straps off of Sammy and Kevin. It's just not working.
If they do, though, but if they get the straps off them, they got to invest more in this tag team division, bro.
Yes.
Don't just throw them on, and especially don't put them on the Street Profits. If you want the tag team division to die, put it on the Street Profits. That'll be over. Kiss it goodbye.
I don't agree with that, but
I do.
Okay, that's fine, man. That's fine. Hey, my greatest, my favorite tag team. Okay, my personal favorite tag team of all time is the Hart Foundation. It is the Hart Foundation, man. It is the Hart Foundation. But if I had to say overall what's the greatest tag team of all time, man, I kind of convinced myself out of the Usos, and I might have to go with who? The Hardy Boys got to be somewhere right there, but I think I got to go Legion of Doom. I think that's probably the route I got to go, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, their body of work, they could wrestle, and honestly, they definitely 1000% needed each other to be relevant. When one go, Animal tried to have a solo career, not happening, man. They 100% needed one another for them to be relevant. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about tag team.
Were Triple H and HBK tag team partners in DX? I forget.
I don't know. Kind of, I guess.
That's kind of a great team right there, though. But Spider 509 saying, "What's the greatest character in wrestling?" In my opinion, the current favorite, greatest character is LA Knight.
Of all time?
No, now.
Oh, now?
Yeah, or Roman or LA Knight. Take your pick.
I'll be honest, man. Not a lot of like good character, good personalities, but characters. I'll tell you what, man. I'll say the Goblin Goober.
Orale.
Goblin Goober, man. That is Pablo from the LA Times.
That was Hector Guerrero in that suit, bro.
I knew it. See, man, when I talked to Chavo, man, I really wanted to bring that up, dog. I really wanted to bring that up.
We gotta try to get Hector or Mondo on the show, bro. One of those brothers, bro. That would be classic.
That would, man. That would.
Hey, if you got the hookup, Richard, to get Hector or Mondo on the show, man, that would be great, brother.
That would be badass, man. Hey, Paul, any last words, brother, before we wrap it up?
Nah, man. Always a good time, man. Look forward to what's next.
Yeah, man. That is Pablo from the LA Times. Cholo Trucker. Shout outs to all the junkies out there. Wrestling Rehab. We'll catch you guys on next one.
And I hope that one time